Greetings. Of course, I've done my own research about what exactly happened, because it was dramatic, to say the least, what happened to Michael Jackson. So I've done my own research. I already posted my research. I found a very good article. The title is posted in Quora. Title of it is Was Michael Jackson Really an Innocent Person? And it was posted by Daisy Jackson, MA History. So this is her title, MA in History at University of Delphi. This was posted on March last year, 2018. Michael Jackson, the person behind the personality. Reason why I'm reading that is because she found the same conclusion, she found the same information that I did. We just present it a little differently. So I'm starting to read. I love Michael Jackson, although I didn't grow up with his music because I was very little at the time. My interest in him developed sadly after he left us. The whole world knows Michael Jackson, the legendary king of pop, rock and soul, gifted with an extraordinary talent of music and dance, but not many know that the iconic pop legend had an unusually lonely and sad childhood. In fact, having achieved fame and popularity at the age of 5 took away the joy of childhood. There is a drawing here of Michael Jackson. Before you judge me, try hard to love me, look within your heart, his song. So there was a song, a sketch made by Michael Jackson, and this is the inspiration of his song. One of his latest songs. He really was a genius. As a solo artist who tasted immense success and popularity in show business, it was natural to have rivals, but Michael Jackson had way too many who were keen to tear him apart and bring him down. His talent, success and popularity ticked them off, and the fact that he was black made him an easy target. Would have been worse if it would have been a black woman, by the way. Continuing to read. He was surrounded by wolves and gold diggers who leached on to him for money and cheap publicity. There were powerful men pulling his strings. Some of his friends betrayed him due to jealousy and greed. They hated the fact that MG was so popular and likable. When Michael reached the height of his career with his blockbuster thriller Between Commas, a strange twist of fate spiraled him into depression and anxiety. His vitiligo made his skin appear lighter, and it wasn't something MG was comfortable talking about in public, until he reached a point when he couldn't take all the mockery and comments from people like he bleached his skin because he wants to be white. End of the quote. This obviously was untrue because MG had skin disorder he inherited from his father's side. Even his autopsy proved he had vitiligo, period. My heart aches so bad whenever I think about the things he went through. I can't begin to imagine how tough it must have been for someone who was insecure with his body. It's a sin to hurt someone who never did anybody wrong, someone who loved children, someone who had respect for women. and never wrote trashy, abusive songs about them. As Scott Fitzgerald said, quote, "Show me a hero, I'll write you a tragedy." Another quote. I think this aptly describes Michael Jackson's life. All his life he was wrongly accused of things he had never said and done. People did not understand him. He has been the most misunderstood celebrity in the history of Hollywood. The tabloids called him Wacko Jacko. That's insulting and rude. Seriously, have they no feelings? The press invaded his personal space to make twisted news for money. He had one of the biggest following in the history of music, from fans all over the world camping outside his gates to paparazzi scaling his fences or climbing up the trees with their cameras. A quote from Michael Jackson. "Yeah, well, Kojako. Where did that come from? Some English tabloid. I have a heart and I have feelings. I feel when you do that to me. It's not nice." Continuing to read the article. There were a lot of false rumors about Michael Jackson. One time it was said that he sleeps in an oxygen chamber to retain his youthfulness. There were rumors about his sexuality, rumors about his children not being his own, false allegations of pedophilia in 1993. None of this was true, none. Michael Jackson was a straight black guy who did not have any sexual interest in kids. Geez, why would he sleep in an oxygen chamber? Yes, Prince, Paris, and Blanket are his biological children, period. There was not a shred of evidence found against MG to prove he was a pedophile. It was just a conspiracy to ruin MG's career and reputation by some greedy parents who teamed up with the company Sony and cajoled their children to give false testimony against Jackson. Later, he was acquitted as the jurists pronounced him innocent. Michael knew it all along that they wanted his money, so on the request of his friend Elizabeth Taylor and girlfriend Lisa Marie Presley, he had the case settled with a payment of $200 million. Though he was exonerated, the whole scandal between commas had devastated him. Yet Michael Jackson had a heart big enough to forgive everyone, including other celebs who did him wrong, made fun of him, and those friends of his who backstabbed him. Quote, "Yes, because I was taught to be biblical. Forgive them, for they not know what they do. And you do it. You know, they know not what they do." Words of Jesus. Those who come against him, don't even know me. It has no foundation what they are doing. How can they say it? They don't even know me. Do you believe something you have read? The Michael Jackson tapes. As a matter of fact, Michael was never a pervert. He had always been very fond of children. Having entered the showbiz since the age of 5, he never got to enjoy his own childhood. He had no memory of his childhood, and so he longed to relive his lost childhood by being around children and fill the void of loneliness. He had a Christian upbringing that instilled a good value system in him, so he would never be blown away like a chaff. He was straight enough to have a pure and innocent love for children and could never hurt them. Quote, When I see children, I see the face of God. That's why I love them so much. That's what I see. End of the quote. Michael Jackson in Oprah Winfrey interview 1993. By the way, his upbringing was a Jehovah's Witness. As most people know. If only they look at the world from his eyes, would they have known the truth about Michael? I don't think there is any celebrity who had such genuine and deep love for children, and there will be people who'll never understand that kind of love because there is so much filth and perversion in the world today that there is no place for good people here anymore. Michael had a heart of gold. He routinely visited children's hospitals and orphanages with lots of presents for the kids to bring comfort and joy in their lives. He even donated much of his wealth in charity. Michael is in the Guinness Book of Records for giving more to charity than any other person, after an elderly woman fell over due to a mob of fans outside HMV in London in 2002. Michael put her in his limousine and gave her a lift home. Quote, I've traveled the world over 8 times. I do as many hospitals and orphanages as I do concerts, but of course it's not covered by the press between parentheses. That's not why I do it for coverage. I do it because it's from my heart. And there are so many children in the city who haven't seen the mountains, who haven't been on a carousel, who haven't pet a horse or a llama, never seen them. So if I can open my gates and see that bliss, an explosion of screaming laughter from the children, and they run on the rides, I say, thank you, God. I feel I've won God's smell of approval because I'm doing something that brings joy and happiness to other people. This end of the quote. 2005 at large with Geraldo Rivera TV interview. Quote, I love to do things for children and I try to imitate Jesus. And no, I am not saying I'm Jesus. I'm not saying that. I'm trying to imitate Jesus in the fact that he said to be like children, to love children, to be as pure as children, and to make yourself as innocent, and to see the world through eyes of wonderment and the whole magical quality of it all. And I love that. And we'll have like 100 bald-headed children. They all have cancer, and they're all running around, and they are enjoying themselves, and it makes me cry happy tears that I was able to do this for them, you know. It makes me so pleased inside. End of the quote. Source, Michael Jackson in the Martin Bashir outtakes. There was truly something unusual special about Michael Jackson, in the way he looked at the world so differently with his childlike innocence. Although he was a big star of the world, yet to children and his loved ones, he was just Michael, the man whose favorite pastime includes playing pranks, running around the Neverland chasing kids with water guns, playing video games, going to amusement parks, Disneyland, pillow fighting, and watching movies with kids. He was like a child trapped in a adult body. He said he never wanted to grow up and likened himself to Peter Pan, the boy who never grew up. I firmly believe the reason behind Michael's success is because of his unmoved, unshaken faith in God. God answered all his prayers and gave him the motivation and guidance to make his way in the world of entertainment. The divine presence of the omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient God gave him courage and strength to survive life's hardships. This is her talking. I mean, God is a title, it's not. So maybe she is Christian. Even though Jackson was extremely rich, famous and popular, he didn't end up getting messed up with drugs and alcohol, promiscuity, partying, etc. like most famous celebs. It was because he made God the anchor of his life. Jackson remained humble and grounded throughout his life. He was brought up in a conservative Christian family, and his mother had an influential role in his upbringing. He held God in high esteem and always prayed, read the Bible, and thanked God for his talent. Quote, I pray a lot. I see a beautiful sunset and I say, God, that's beautiful, thank you. Or a baby smile, or butterfly wings, or anything like that. End of the quote. In 1987, Ebony Jet TV interview. Quote, I truly think it comes from my mother and God, the way we were raised, the values my mother instilled in us in youth. She was always with the Bible teaching us. We'd go to service all the time, 4 times a week, and I'm so glad we did that because those values are very important. I don't know if I could have done all well without them. End of the quote. 2005, at large with Geraldo Rivera TV interview. I believe in the Creator, by the way. Continuing to read. He believed God had a purpose in each one's life. I would again replace him by Creator of the universe. And this is beyond religion. So that's his way of saying, talking of the Creator of the universe. It was to call him God. Okay, he was Jehovah's Witness. Okay. So he believed God had a purpose in each one's life. Doesn't mean that because he was Jehovah's Witness that I don't appreciate him. Doesn't matter to me. Continuing to read. With the conviction that it was God's plan that he landed in the music industry. He used music as a channel to communicate and spread the message of love, hope, and peace through songs such as We Are the World, Heal the World, Hurt Song. He used his God-given talent wisely. Quote, I really believe that God chooses people to do certain things, the way Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci or Mozart or Muhammad Ali or Martin Luther King is chosen, and that is their mission to do that thing. And I think that I haven't scratched the surface yet of what my real purpose is for being here. End of the quote. Ebony Jet 2002 interview. He gave himself to the cause of humanity following his 1984 pyro accident, which by the way was not an accident. Continuing to read. He established the Michael Jackson Burn Center for the burn victims. Quote, I try to be kind and generous and to give to people and to do what I think God wants me to do. Sometimes I pray and say, where do you want me to go next, God? What do you want me to do from there? I've always been very spiritual in that way. It's nothing new. I always have been. End of the quote. The source is 2005 at large with Geraldo Rivera TV interview. Sweet little angel Michael. Katherine Jackson says, quote, Young Michael saved his little pennies and nickels to buy candy and cookies, but he wouldn't eat it all. He liked to play storeman. He would take it and put it and set up a little store, and all the kids in the neighborhood would come and buy from him, and he felt like he was the storeman. When older brother Marlon became ill, 3 years old, Michael held his hand and cried, he said. Source: Michael Jackson's mom remembers her sweet little boy. An animal and nature lover. Apart from children, Michael Jackson loved animals and nature. He adopted a little chimp. Jackson recorded the title song for the 1972 film Ben, a story about a young boy and his rat friend. Quote, he liked that song because he liked rats, his mother said, end of the quote. Quote, I can remember a story that we went to Beverly Hills to have dinner and we were eating. Michael kept pulling his coat up and putting crumbs into his jacket. I said, what are you doing? And he held it up and he had a rat in his pocket. He was feeding it. I was really upset with him. End of the quote. Source: Michael Jackson's mom remembers her sweet little boy. In one of his shows, while performing, he spotted a little bug on the stage and he had it removed by a screw and asked the guy to not harm it. Oh my God, Michael Jackson. His kids called him the best daddy in the world. I wonder how a man who was so kind can be so ruthlessly attacked, ridiculed, and mocked. Jackson had enough in his life. Why do good people always suffer? Jesus Christ was crucified. Martin Luther King Jr. and Gandhi were assassinated. Hatred killed Michael Jackson. Before he toured for 50 shows, the 50-year-old who had been dying to sleep, he was insomniac, between parentheses, died peacefully in sleep. The Jackson family, between parentheses. The end. Disclaimer: anyone who wishes to know more on Mike's personal life may continue to read from the following, which I've picked up from a blog because I found it really interesting. It's an excerpt from a book, the details of which are given below. Because of the length, I would advise readers to take a chill pill. I don't want anyone to get stressed out. And no hateful comments, please. So, I will leave it there for now. I thank you for listening. Like I said, I myself found out a while ago that Michael Jackson was really innocent. And the title of this article is, Was Michael Jackson Really an Innocent Person? Posted on Quora by Daisy Jackson, having MA in History, University of Delhi. Updated March 24, 2018. I thank you for listening, and may Michael Jackson's name be completely, because he suffered so much of character assassination. So I want his name to, they did so much to this man. And even though he's dead, I'm sure it will help him to rest in peace by having his reputation restored.